This is the reference room in Inverness Library. This is where you would consult the books from the Fraser Mackintosh collection. As you can see, there's lots of reference works on the shelves here, lots of workspace, computers, table. I'm here with Charles Fraser Mackintosh, whose collection this project investigates. This is where you would access the books. If you came in as a reader of the Fraser Mackintosh collection, you would come to this room, tell one of the nice librarians who normally sit at the desk over there what book you're wanting, and they'll fetch it down from upstairs, and you'll sit down and you read it and you write about it and you research it. Parts of the Fraser Mackintosh collection is shelved up there in the gallery. You can see some of them peeking above the lintel there. To get to them, you go to the back of the reference room and walk up these stairs, like we're about to do. As you can see, it says staff only, and normally readers aren't allowed up there. But as part of this project, you, the students, are given access to this very exciting space up there. This is the card catalogue for the Fraser Mackintosh collection. This is how these books are catalogued. Some of you may have never seen this card catalogue before. This type of catalogues, we're so used to online catalogues, but this is what we used to have. In fact, my undergraduate degree had nothing but card catalogues. They're organised by author, and you'd have to know what you're looking for. So as an example, I'll show you how to find books by Macpherson, because he's clearly the most important person in the collection. You'd go to the section labelled MacD to Muse, pull it open, to reveal a treasure trove of entries. Alphabetical: MacDonald, Kay, Mackenzie, Mackintosh, MacLeod, and eventually Macpherson. Here, for example, we've got the cat for the Highlander. You can see it's got the title, the author. This is the Fraser Mackintosh shelf mark, and this is where it's shelved nowadays. So if you want to look up this book, you tell the librarian that you're looking for S821.4, and they'd find it for you. We're now going to take you on a tour of the part of the Fraser Mackintosh collection that's housed up here in the gallery. This is the first part, on top of the reading room, as you can see. Here's the card catalogue. And this is where the books are. Lots and lots of them. So come walk with me down the corridor. See what's here. On the left there's lots of legal tracts, faculty decisions, session papers, Acts of Parliament. These very, very large books here are Acts of Parliament. Look at the journals of the House of Commons. More journals of the House of Commons, all reflecting the fact that Fraser Mackintosh was an MP and a lawyer. Reports of the members of Parliament. Criminal trials. All sorts of exciting books like that. On the other side, across the shelves, you've got a selection of travel books. You may be familiar with some of those, such as Johnson's Journey to the Western Isles. You've got Thomas Pennant. You've got all sorts of exciting travel writers. They're all just sitting there. Lots of history books, British history, Scottish history, continental history, lots of classics, lots of books in French and Latin, lots of political books, lots of books of Highland history, of Gaelic history, and they're all just here. Among them, and this is very exciting, you find some of Fraser Mackintosh's own books, such as, in particular, these volumes here. See how they all look the same? They're books that he had bound, and they're his scrapbooks. They're full of newspaper cuttings, and he had a title page made for them, and you've got years and years and years worth of them. Come with us, and we'll show you some of the highlights of the collections. Now, these aren't the most expensive books, or the most rare books, or anything like that, but they're the books that have jumped out to me, so I thought I'd share them. If you were on the face-to-face field trip, this is exactly what we'd be doing. Our first item is Macpherson's original papers. There's two sets of this here. This is it, beautiful spine. It's published in the 1770s, and it's companion piece to his great history of Great Britain. And in it he publishes his sources separately, so you can read the primary sources for yourself and then judge his history based on that. Fraser Mackintosh collection lives through the back in the reference room. Part of it lives upstairs in the gallery, top of the reference room. Part of it lives in the stack here in the right. There's a door marked staff only, and today you get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the stacks. And this is where they are in rolling stacks. You can see some of them peeking out, and we'll show you some of these books in detail. This is my favourite bay in the library. This is the Ossian collection. It's an astonishing collection of things there. Some down here, most of them back here, so come follow me into the stack. There are books by Macpherson, it's books about Macpherson, and there's all sorts of Ossianic publications and translations and things. Now, my favourite book in the whole Fraser Mackintosh collection, the book that brought me to the collection, is this one here. It's a little book, it's called The Highlander, and some of you will have heard me talk about this. I did my PhD on this book, and I spent 5 years thinking and reading and writing about this book. It's a little epic poem. Not very many people have read it. It rhymes. I love it, but I don't think it's a very good poem. And it's got some very interesting things to say about British identity, about Scottish identity, and about what a Highlander from Kingussie had to say about Scotland within Britain in the mid-18th century, just a few years after Culloden. This is one of only 8 copies left in the world. How it's ended up in Inverness, we don't know, or how Fraser Mackintosh got it, we don't know. But it's very, very special, because there aren't that many copies of it left. Now, this edition actually has some annotations, and they're penciled in at the bottom of the page, there for example. And it's someone wrote it and jotted down some notes just like we do in our books. Here for example they've annotated the line, "And his wet garments shed the tears of night," to say dripping wet. And another annotation is, "Here all the noble warriors crown the bowl, and with the generous nectar warm the soul." And they've said spruce or heather beer, and it's full of little annotations like this.